Astro is a short incremental roguelike that plays much closer to a top-down arena shooter than it does anything to do with a Vampire Survivors like, and I'm all for that because I feel like incremental games have become a bit too hands-off and developers keep sending me them and I'm getting increasingly more like, please don't make the game play itself for me the more that I play. In Astro you play as a geometric shaped ship going across 20 different levels, and each level is split up into two very distinct portions. The first portion is open endless space with swarms of enemies coming at you, and then after a period of time, so long as you've survived that, it will then enclose you into a spherical arena for you to then battle off against a boss. There are 5 bosses that repeat themselves 4 times over in the 20 levels, but every time you kill a boss, that boss and that kind of powered variant of it, because each one kind of gets more powerful and more HP, that then becomes part of your general swarm that follow you around, and there'll become multiple of them. And this is what makes each level become harder and harder, because you're going to have to deal with multiple bosses that you previously were going up one against one, and then you've got, say, 4 or 5 of them going on, along with a swarm of enemies too. To help you with that, you will have 2 upgrade systems that run either run based or on overarching just general roguelike progression. In each run you will start off with a body type of your ship and a main weapon, and there are 3 of those to choose from and they're paired together. Then you'll have a variety of sub-weapons to choose from, an ultimate ability you can unlock such as a laser beam or a massive ripple effect. Then you'll have a booster ability, and this is like leaving chemical trails behind you or teleporting and becoming invincible for a few seconds. You'll then have 3 optional assist weapons that you can choose from, and these do auto fire, and 3 utilities such as increasing your armor or your health replenishment or just your max health, because each level must be completed with some health remaining but also fuel, and fuel depletes, easy for me to say, over the course of time quicker and quicker the further you go in the game, and so maybe investing in that might be a good utility too. There'll be a variety to choose from. They pop up in the shop every time you roll, and you have to choose something. You can't choose to not do anything. And so that kind of forces you sometimes to choose maybe not your most optimal build, or you might choose to just wait and upgrade something you've already unlocked already, because each of those things that I've just mentioned will have 6, 9, 12 different levels of upgrade for you to play with. Once you've then played through the variety of different runs as far as you can get with whatever your current ship is, and there's definitely a skill ceiling here as much as there is a upgradable roguelike ceiling as well. Each level that you clear gives you prisms, and you use those prisms to then prestige yourself up, basically. And this unlocks the overarching roguelike element with lots of different nodes on for you to then upgrade your base health, your base fuel, the fire rate, the spherical influence of how much of the coins that you can collect as you go, and then the damage percentage increase of all of your assists, your ultimates, and all of that kind of stuff. And so you're basically beefing up all of your base stats to then go into the next run with a much beefier ship from which one of the 3 that you've chosen from to then go again. And this works quite well because, particularly from about level 11 onwards, the step of increasing difficulty and just hordes of everything coming at you means that if you aren't using that overarching roguelike upgrade skill tree very well, you're going to end up running into problems quite often. And the reason why you will is because this is a keyboard and mouse game. WASD to move around, but also left and right buttons on the mouse to shoot and do different things, but also the shift button and the R button to trigger like your special ability. It takes a little while to kind of get used to having your fingers and thumbs everywhere. This genre is now incredibly bloated. I, as a small creator, am getting one of these sent to me every single day, and so I'm being picky and choosy about the ones that I want to look at and invest time in, and I'm definitely gearing myself towards the ones where I'm much more in control of what I play, and that's what appealed to Astro, and I'm delighted that that followed through from beginning to end for me. Where this game struggles is in stability, though. Every time the music changes, the game stutters, and that becomes really frustrating when it's on a time-sensitive like dodge or a specific thing where you're thinking, where do I go next? But then sometimes the game just hangs, and in particular if you've got a lot of particle effects, and it seems to be very tied to the pyro upgrade, this game crashes constantly all the time. And so I got quite frustrated in the last 5 levels where there's a lot going on a screen. The game seems to struggle to cope with that a little bit, but then it starts to crash more frequently too, because some of the better upgrades require a lot of particle effects and the game seems to struggle and crash. If that can be fixed through a stability patch, then I think Astro Nova is worth your time if you like a 3-hour-ish short incremental roguelike. Just be aware going in that the performance is a little bit shonky here and there, and one of the key things I think is this doesn't do anything new or interesting, and this kind of my parting thought with Astro Nova and incrementals in general. I, as a small creator, am getting sent an incremental game every single day, no exaggeration. And so I'm being really picky about the ones that I pick up. And that's just me as someone who's generally like loving to pick up all kinds of games. I'm feeling really burnt out by this oversaturation of the incremental genre. And the reason why this one stood out to me was because I was hands-on all the way through. Other games are much more hands-off. And if you're going to continue going down an incremental splurge, just be really careful about your USP, because I think you'll be lost in the crowd. Astro Nova is out on the 6th of November.